Well, that'll do it for Philly. This thing ended up being a 9 point game, but if you were watching, it did not feel very encouraging for them. And, kudos to Miami first and foremost, of course. Look, they're going on to face the Bucks or the Celtics, and that'll be a fun series. From Miami's standpoint, their defense was just overwhelming on Philly, man. I mean, that one sequence where they had like three guys basically on Harden, he tries going around the back, Oladipo strips him. They had three dudes on Embiid. Bam blocks his face-up jumper. Whenever Embiid was trying to get positioning in the post, Bam is fronting him or he's just wrestling with him as much as he can to make his life as difficult as possible. You've got PJ Tucker grabbing two straight offensive rebounds when Embiid is in the game, getting putbacks. You've got them dropping on the Harden Embiid screen and just really collapsing the floor to the point where they just really couldn't get anything going to the basket, it felt like, for Philly. The Heat are a very good team. And now we get to Philly. Does any Sixer fan still want Doc Rivers as the coach? My guess is going to be no. I guess that's all I got for you there. As far as the real big thing, which is Harden, I tell you, man, this is tough to predict. I mean, Harden is not worth the $200+ million 5 year whatever max right now. He's got the player option. The report from Windhorst was that Harden will accept it. We'll see. If he declines the option, then I assume those negotiations would be fun. Now, is it possible that he could come back around and fully recover the hamstring injury that I think has been the reason why he's just been a worse player the past couple of years? Sure, but for the sake of contracts, committing to guys, you can't bank on that sort of thing happening. But the other possibility is a trade for the guy, and, well, I mean, at this point, given how expensive he is, given that any other team that trades for him would then have to do everything that Philly is now doing with evaluating the future of his career, are you really going to get anything that great for the guy? Also, you can't, or at least I don't think you can attach a bunch of draft picks because most of their picks are locked up in protections or going to the Nets or whatever it may be, or going to the Thunder. And then we'll just see. I mean, there's a chance that Harden just accepts the option this offseason, and they're just hoping that they get a better version of the guy. And then that can lead to us doing the whole contract negotiation thing next offseason. Besides that, I mean, you've got Tobias Harris's contract, and it's a lot of the same thing. Like, is anybody going to want him given the amount you're paying him? Are you willing to attach anything to get off of him? You're not moving Tyrese Maxey. I mean, Maxey and Embiid are those your two no doubt keepers at this point? As for the whole, James Harden playoff legacy, well, this one certainly isn't going to help, so there you go. And honestly, the last thing I do is I think about the what if game with the Sixers, between the Harden trade, or the Ben Simmons trade, really, between the possibilities of trading for, I don't know, CJ McCollum, and yeah, full transparency, if you want to go back to the playoff loss for the Sixers last year, in that very video, I say, are we sure a CJ trade for Ben Simmons makes Philly that much better? Well, compared to the Harden they got, yes. You can also do the what if stuff when it comes to Jimmy. And thinking about his relationship with Brett Brown and the front office's confidence in Jimmy. And I mean, there's that one Jimmy Butler JJ thing where the podcast where apparently somebody asked Brett Brown if you can control Jimmy or whatever. And Jimmy was like, what the hell does that mean? Like, was it just a 0% chance of Jimmy Butler ever being re-signed by Philly? I don't know. You can do a what if on the Markelle Fultz Jason Tatum trade. What if Markelle Fultz just, the nerve stuff in his shoulder or whatever the hell happened there, if that doesn't happen? It's a laundry list of what ifs at this point. And while all this is happening, Joel Embiid is 28 years old. And, in terms of star players whose careers were not ruined by injuries, Embiid is pretty high on the unlucky list among star players.